We will remove the 2026 electric vehicle availability standard, which specifies the share of new vehicle sales that must be electric next year.
So, with his poll numbers going the wrong way, Mark Carney has decided to pause, not end, but pause the absolutely insane net zero dream, zero emission vehicle mandate for Canada. It's not gone, it's just paused for 2026. And I'm sure this is causing Mark Carney great personal suffering, as he was really looking forward to central planning everything that you do, including what kind of car that you can drive. But again, polls are starting to go the wrong direction, and well, everything else is terrible. And this seemed like an easy way to trick the people who voted for him into thinking that he's actually doing something, even if it's just pausing a program that only exists because of the Liberal government anyway. But let's hear what he has to say about it.
So to add flexibility to the automotive sector, we will remove the 2026 electric vehicle availability standard, which specifies the share of new vehicle sales that must be electric next year. This will provide immediate financial relief to automakers at a time of increased pressure on their competitiveness. And the government will begin immediately a 60-day review of the EV standard to identify future flexibilities and ways to reduce costs.
Well, thanks so much for fixing the problem that, well, you guys caused. And yes, this was a Trudeau program, but let's not forget Mark Carney had been advising Justin Trudeau since 2020. And if you read Mark Carney's book Values, this EV mandate, this central planning, this eco-utopianism has Mark Carney's fingerprints all over it. He obviously was the one who came up with the idea in the first place. Now, just a quick refresher on the program. It was a mandate from the government that all new light-duty vehicles be 100% zero-emission vehicles by 2035. That's right, not even hybrids. You couldn't even get a hybrid by 2035. It has to be a plug-in zero-emission vehicle. And the target for 2026 was 20%. So any car dealership that didn't sell at least 20% of its inventory being zero-emission vehicles would be fined $20,000 per vehicle. And that was supposed to go up to 60% by 2030. And as you can see, 8.7% in Q1 2025. This was going to be an enormous catastrophe for the auto industry, and was just going to drive up the cost of vehicles for consumers as well. Not very smart, not very well thought out. But it's the kind of thing you'd expect from a bureaucrat, which is what Mark Carney is. And of course, you have the issue that Canada's cold a lot of the time, really cold, and these batteries do not perform well in the cold. So, not practical. Not to mention the fact that the grid is nowhere near being able to handle all of those EVs. People will be waiting in lines at charging stations for hours to charge their cars. None of this is going to work. It's not practical. It's just terrible. It just feels like a way of trying to deindustrialize Canada. I mean, I'm sure Greta Thunberg would be thrilled. Maybe she'll tell Hamas what a great guy Mark Carney is. Although, actually, they already like him anyway. But I have to repeat, he's not getting rid of the program. It's just being suspended for a little while. It's still part of his master global net zero plan.
We will soon also release our climate competitiveness strategy to position Canada as a leader in decarbonization.
Climate competitiveness strategy? So who are we competing with? Well, the U.S. said no carbon taxes there. China's constantly building new coal plants. They don't care. India's not going to sacrifice growth for that. The EU is a total basket case, with the largest economies there contracting. And they're already making noises that they're not fully on board with all of these net zero fantasies. So competing with who? With ourselves? This is all just starting to feel like an ideological crusade on Mark Carney's part. You know, the guy who was the UN climate envoy? You know, the global banking net zero guy?
And we'll look at the interaction between the EV mandate, our clean fuel standards, our investment tax credits, our trade policy, all of those elements, because what this government is focused on is absolutely results, not saying...
Yeah, it's not going anywhere. The EV mandate's gonna stay. he's going to pause it briefly. But his climate zealotry is not going anywhere, and neither is the EV mandate. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that. Please like, share, and subscribe. Subscribing really helps me out. I thank you for that. I will see you next time.